This is the L2C Media Network, and this is Sports Final with Steve the Baxman Baxley, brought to you by the L2C Media Network. Now from the Fred McLeod Sports Desk, along with yours truly, Harry von Stuttgart. Here he is, the man himself, Steve the Baxman Baxley. We can get everything. Hey, how you doing, everybody? Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Somewhat Sporting Excellence. That's right. This is the show that asks the musical question: how big are our sporty balls? Well, they're massively huge. Okay. So, folks, oh boy. All right, let's get with it, as we say in the business. Hopefully, we still got it. Yeah, we do. All right, let's get with this little program of ours and get everything all nice and straightened out. There we go. Okay. My leg is giving me a little problem, so if you see me rubbing my leg, that's probably why. Anyway, let's. Walking's good for you. Yes, it is. Anyway, let's get on with it. And we do it like this with a little bit of a basketball. Oh, hang on, off center again. There we are. Now I'm fully centered. This is why the show's popular. Alrighty, let's kick it off with some good old-fashioned b-ball here. Oh boy. Okay, hang on, folks. Might as well. Okay. Man, our teleprompt is not cooperation. Okay, there we go. And here we are, face to face, a couple of silver spoons. Okay. Should pop up any moment now, any minute now. There we go. All right. Let's get to it. Thank you. And here comes the men. 8:31 left to play in the game. It is St. Mary over Cal State University Stanislaus, 54-35. Still early in the second half. It is UC Davis over Oregon State, 52-47. That game you can view, if you are so inclined to do so, on the Pac-12 network. 1 minute 30 seconds left to play in the whole shamil. It is University of California, Santa Barbara over Pacific, 62-57. Now let's get you some final scores, shall we? We shall. Louisville over to Southeast Louisiana, 86-60. Stony Brook over Coastal Carolina, 87-67. Boop. Boop. Troy over Alabama A&M, 66-57. South Carolina over Allen University, 110-51. Longwood, cousin to Shortwood, Carolina over Carolina University, 98-56. Cincinnati over Florida A&M, 77-50. North Carolina over Furman, 74-61. St. Francis of New York over Medgar Evers, 113-51. Clemson over Miami of Ohio, 89-76. Monmouth, 69. Yale, 60. NC AT&T over Eastern Tennessee State 69-67. UNCG over Townsend over UNCG 74-64. 19th ranked LSU beat Northwestern State 89-9. South Florida defeated Austin Peay by 9, 60-51. St. Francis of Pennsylvania over Hartford, 81-66. 18th ranked Tennessee over SC Upstate, 96-52. Wake Forest over VMI, 77-70. UAB over Grambling, 79-61. Stephen F. Austin lost to the UL Monroe, University of Louisiana Monroe, 82-69. There we go. Louisiana Tech over LSU Shreveport, 84-70. And Arizona State over Creighton by 1, 58-57. 25th ranked Texas Tech over Arkansas State, 75-62. Western Kentucky over Centre College, 90-52. Drexel over Coppin State, 76-69. Illinois Chicago, DePaul over Illinois Chicago, 72-66. Mississippi State over Georgia State, 79-50. Northern Iowa over Jackson State, 66-56. Jacksonville over Southern Miss, 62-51. UT Martin over UNC Asheville, 79-68. North Dakota over North Central, 110-65. St. Thomas of Minnesota over Northland, 109-50. Illinois State over Quincy, 81-63. There we go. North Texas, 65. Sam Houston, 55. Number 2 ranked Duke, 103 to SC State, 62. South Alabama, 69. Tarleton State, 62. Minnesota 79, Texas A&M, CC 71, 14th ranked Houston 71-56 winner over the fun folks at Louisiana. Wichita State over Alcorn State 82-63. University of Texas Rio Grande Valley lost to Texas Southern 70-60. 17th ranked Texas over Arkansas Pine Bluff 63-31. Number 6 Alabama over Memphis over number 6 Alabama 92-78. 13th ranked Auburn over Northern Alabama 70-44. Boise State over Santa Clara 72-60. Little Rock and Central Arkansas and Tulane and Texas A&M were canceled due to the COVID. Okay. And wow. Okay, let's see. Obviously, we got some lady scores, do we not? Yes, we do. Let's hit up the women's college basketball. Ooh. There we go. Should have thought of this earlier. Obviously, I should have done that earlier. There we go. We go now to the women. Hope we go to the women. We should be going to the women. Full scoreboard. Thank you. Okay. Play with the pain. Let's go to Tuesday, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. 17 seconds in the fourth quarter. It's 70-57. Portland over Stephen F. Austin. DePaul over Nichols, 172. Kansas City over Santa Clara, 69-62. Liberty over Bluefield State, 76-30. Dixie State over Westcliff, 79-55. California Baptist by 1 over UC San Diego, 74-73. South Alabama over Faulkner, 91-51. Drexel over Yale, 59-52. Indiana State over UIC, 76-50. Florida International over Bethune-Cookman, 68-57. Georgia State over Florida A&M, 61-52. UCF over Seton Hall, 68-56. UT Rio Grande Valley, 52-43 over Texas A&M. CC. Rutgers, 56-45 winner over Central Connecticut. Princeton over Buffalo in overtime, 79-77. Yay. Howard over UMBC, 74-61. Arkansas State over Mississippi Valley, 81-47. Northwestern over Milwaukee, 55-46. Memphis and Townsend, New Orleans and Jacksonville State, all canceled. And we hit you up with the NBA. Now we got the NBA, and we're going to keep it. So here we go with tonight's NBA game. After 3 quarters of play, it's the Portland Trailblazers over the Phoenix Suns, 75-73. Final score in overtime, Brooklyn Nets over the Toronto Raptors, 131-129. Golden State Warriors defeated the New York Knicks, 105-96. Pistons and Bulls postponed, and we will give you good news on that Golden State Warrior game. There was something special in the air for the GSW. Come on, there we go. So now, oh yeah, we forgot a league. Yes, we forgot a league. We forgot the G League. Well, we remember it now because here comes the G League. And I got to get my hair straightened and sheared. Anyway, let's go to the G League where the G stands for good golly. Oh, man. Okay. Sorry for not talking, but okay, there we go. Let's find out what's happened tonight. College Park Skyhawks over the Raptors, 9:05. Let's try that again. College Park Skyhawks beat Raptors 9:05, 118-108. Fort Wayne Mad Ants over the Grand Rapids Gold, 139-122. Austin Spurs over Lakeland Magic, 109-96. Birmingham Squadron over the Memphis Hustle by a score of 113-109. And with 3:43 left to play, it is the Agua Caliente Clippers over the South Bay Lakers, 110-103. Should that game go to an end before we go off the air, we will update. That's right. Let's now take you from the hard ice to the hard synthetic ice. It's time now for our NHL, our hockey segment. And here we go. Not a bad list of games tonight. Not exactly a full house. And can we just, go. Thank you very much. Okay, in the second intermission, Columbus Blue Jackets lead the Vancouver Canucks 3-1. 4:14 left to play before they hit the second intermission, and the Seattle Kraken and the San Jose Sharks tied at goose eggs. Now the final scores with the Molson Cup 3-star selection. The defending Stanley Cup 2-time champion Tampa Bay Lightning beat the LA Kings in overtime, 3-2. Joseph, 1 goal for Tampa Bay. Reddish, 1 goal for Tampa Bay. And Quick, 27 saves for LA. Your 3 stars. Vegas Golden Knights beat the Boston Bruins 4-1. Pacioretty for Vegas, 2 goals. Stevenson for Vegas, 3 assists. And Theodore for Vegas, 1 goal. Yahoo. in Yahoo. Right now we continue onwards, folk. Penguins over the Canadians, 5-2. Rodriguez for Pittsburgh, 1 goal, 2 assists. Crosby for Pittsburgh, 2 assists, and Dumoulin for Pittsburgh, 1 goal. All right. Philadelphia Flyers beat the New Jersey Devils 6-1. Atkinson for Philly, 3 goals, 1 assist. Sanheim for Philly, 1 goal, 1 assist. Lindblom for Philly, 1 goal, 1 assist. The Ottawa Senators defeated the Florida Panthers 8-2. Paul for Ottawa, 1 goal, 1 assist. Norris for Ottawa, 2 goals and an assist. And Batherson for Ottawa, 1 goal, 3 assists. Red Wings beat the Islanders. Hey! 2-1 final score. Larkin for Detroit, a goal. Nedeljkovic for Detroit, 33 saves. And Lee for the Islanders, 1 goal. Sabres over the Winnipeg Jets, 4-2. Dahlin for Buffalo with 2 goals. Luukkonen for Buffalo, 34 saves. And Dubois for Winnipeg, 1 goal, 1 assist. St. Louis Blues over the Dallas Stars, 4-1. Lindgren for St. Louis, 33 saves. Damiani for Dallas, 1 goal. Falk for St. Louis, 1 goal. Colorado Avalanche over the New York Rangers, 4-2. Nicholskin for Colorado, 2 goals. McKinnon for Colorado, 2 assists. And Kadril for Colorado, 2 assists. Maple Leafs over the Oilers, 5-1. Campbell for Toronto, 35 saves. Matthews for Toronto, 2 goals. And Riley for Toronto, 1 goal, 1 assist. Hurricanes Wild and Flames Predators were postponed. And here we go. You know what? I wish people would just leave me alone while I'm trying to have a PM, Let's take you to the hockey scores, the NC2A. Man, we're having a fun day, aren't we, kids? That's right. But here we go. No game scheduled for tonight. Oh, thank gosh. Let's give you the women's hockey, see if they got to play any, and they didn't get to play any. So that means one thing. We go to the minors, and the minors means we go to the American Hockey League first before we go north of the border. And here we go. Woof. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. All right. Here's the I'm eyeing again. Sorry about that. All right. Henderson Silver Knights over Tucson Roadrunners, 4-3. The Charlotte Checkers, wow. They had one hell of a good second period. They slam danced the Rochester Americans, 11-1. Hershey Bears over the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, 4-1. Milwaukee Admirals over the Iowa Wild, 6-3. Let's go now to the Ontario Hockey League. That's right. We're going Ontario now. And let's see here. No games for tonight. So there you go on that. Now, before we do anything, we, of course, like to promote From Within and In the Cha-Cha Dance of Life. We do this, where are we here? Here we go. Okay, now then, somewhere around here. It's simple. Nick Ricada has a fun show, as always, called Lost Bleeding the Interwebs. Nick is, of course, a humble Minnesota attorney, and he takes on anything and everything in pop culture and beyond. Nick Ricada's show usually airs weeknights from midnight Eastern and 11 Central Time. So there you go. I don't think he's streaming tonight because he streamed another court case. It was the Houston cop who was trying to get her taser, instead got a gun. Kim Potter, the Kim Potter trial um, was today, and or continued today, and Nick Rekieta and his guests were off and running as they usually are when there is a major trial coming on. They do better than the fine folks, and I use that term loosely, of the mainstream media. So there goes the commercial. There went the commercial. Let's give you some headlines and go into detail with them. Bam. The NFL said Washington football club owner, Washington football team owner Daniel Snyder was held accountable, end quote, for the investigation into his franchise that resulted in the resignation of former Las Vegas Raider head coach John Gruden. Despite League Commissioner Roger Goodell addressing the matter in October, amidst the league not releasing any details of the investigation other than a summary, the Washington Post is reporting that Snyder wasn't cooperating fully with the investigation. Per the Washington Post, Snyder's attorneys allegedly tried to block a key accuser from speaking with attorney Beth Wilkinson, who led the investigation into the football team over the past year. More than a dozen former Washington employees alleged sexual harassment in the organization, which led to a full investigation by the league. Washington was fined $10 million by the NFL for its, quote, highly unprofessional, end quote, environment. Snyder, who stepped down from running the day-to-day operations of the team, allegedly had his attorneys try to prevent the 2009 accuser from speaking to Wilkinson, seeking to secure silence and non-cooperation from his accuser. Snyder's attorneys denied the claim. The Washington owner also allegedly took former employees to court in an attempt to identify them. Snyder allegedly hired private investigators who showed up uninvited to their homes and contacted friends and relatives in an attempt to intimidate and discourage them from participating in the investigation. Snyder was also reportedly offended that former team president Bruce Allen didn't send him a text message congratulating him on the hire of Ron Rivera in January of 2020. Allen was the recipient of Gruden's email sent back in 2011, in which the former Raiders coach, who worked for ESPN at the time, used a racial trope to criticize NFL Player Association Executive Director DeMaurice Smith. That exchange was part of leaked emails in which Gruden denounced female referees and made slurs about Goodell. One email included Gruden saying a former NFL safety who knelt during the national anthem should be fired. Gruden resigned after the emails were leaked to the public in October. Goodell addressed Snyder's involvement in the investigation when the league announced all 650,000 emails reviewed regarding misconduct with the Washington football team would not be released to the public. Personally, I think that's wrong. They should. What is Washington trying to hide? Goodell said back in October, quote, I do think he's been held accountable. I think the organization has been held accountable. I think we gave an unprecedented fine. Dan Snyder has not been involved with the organization for now almost 4 months. We are obviously focused more on making sure that policies, some that they put into place prior to the investigation coming out of it, were put into place and that they will be maintained and that we can ensure that that will happen in this organization. In other words, if Cletus was here to translate, this is what he would say. Snyder did what we told him to do. He bailed. He took somewhat responsibility. But the rest, well, we'll just turn our backs on. Hoo-hoo. Hoo-hoo. Dee-doo. Okay. Let's get back with some more sports news. And before we hit the board of happy, let's get you a little big news. He done did it. That's right. If Stephen Curry had to set the NBA record for career three-pointers away from his home arena, he couldn't have picked a more fitting place to do it than the legendary Madison Square Garden, where he announced his arrival as a superstar on February 27th, 2013, with a 54-point eruption against the Knicks. On Tuesday, tonight, he only needed 2 3-pointers to pass Ray Allen's all-time mark. He got first inside the first 2 minutes, and the record breaker came at the 7:33 mark of the first quarter. The all-time 3-point king in the NBA is Steph Curry. He wound up with 5 3-pointers on the night, extending his career total to 2,977. En route to 22 points as the Warriors came away with a 105-96 victory. Golden State owns the league's best record at 23-5, but it hasn't been pretty of late for the Warriors, who entered Tuesday night with the league's 22nd ranked offense over the last 2 weeks, or for Curry, who needed 14 attempts to get his 5 3-pointers on Monday and is shooting under 35% from the field over his last 8 games. All right, time now for a little bit of the National Football League, something we haven't had to do for a long time. Hey, Dandelion Flufferooty. Hey, Schnookums just stopped by to drop a quick line. Have a good show. Thank you. Our hockey segment we did was a little flat, but still, we got it in. Now we're doing the COVID-19 tracker for the National Football League, but I'm glad you're here just to say hi. And don't worry, tomorrow I think we'll have hockey as the first segment. Yay! Okay, the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic continues to impact the NFL. Several high-profile players have missed games this season after testing positive for the virus. More players will undoubtedly miss time during the final month of the 2021 regular season. A day after nearly 40 players were added to the team's respective reserve COVID-19 list, the Browns placed 8 players on their list ahead of their Week 15 game against the Raiders. The Rams, less than 24 hours after their impressive win over the Arizona Cardinals, closed their training facility after several players tested positive for the virus, including Odell Beckham Jr. We have an update, so let's go with it. Arizona Cardinals, no one has the COVID. Atlanta Falcons, linebacker Emmanuel Ellerbe. Baltimore Ravens, center Tristan Colon. Buffalo Bills, 2 linebackers, Tyrell Dodson and A.J. Klein. Carolina Panthers, offensive lineman Trent Scott. Chicago Bears, nose tackle Eddie Goldman, defensive back Artie Burns, defensive end Mario Edwards, and tackle Elijah Wilkinson. For Cincinnati Bengals, linebacker Clay Johnson. For the Cleveland Browns, tight end Austin Hooper, wide receiver Jarvis Landry, defensive end Takaris McKinley, guard Wyatt Tyler, tackle Jedrick Willis, punter Jamie Gallen, linebacker Anthony Walker, and tight ends David Njoku and Stephen Carlson. For Dallas Cowboys, wide receiver Cedric Wilson. For the Denver Broncos, defensive linebacker Malik Reed, running back Mike Boone, and defensive back P.J. Locke. For Detroit Lions, cornerback Mark Gilbert, linebacker Tavante Beckett, cornerback Ifitu Melifonwu, running back Jamal Williams, cornerback Tracy Walker, defensive back Bobby Price, and center Evan Brown. For Green Bay Packers, quarterback Jordan Love. For Houston Texans, linebacker Camus Grugier Hill. For the Colts of Indianapolis, linebacker Zaire Franklin. For Jacksonville Jaguars, nobody. For Kansas City Chiefs, tight end Jody Fortinson, defensive tackle Chris Jones. For the Raiders, nobody. For the Chargers, tackle Rashawn Slater, center Scott Quisenberry. For the Los Angeles Rams, wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr., defensive back Terrell Burgess, defensive end Bryson Hopkins, defensive backs Jordan Fuller and Juju Hughes, tackle Alaric Jackson, cornerback Jalen Ramsey, tackle Rob Havenstein, defensive back Dante Deaton, and running back Darrell Henderson. Miami Dolphins, running back Philip Lindsay, safety Javon Holland, running backs Salvon Ahmed and Miles Gaskin for Minnesota. Wide receiver Dede Westbrook, running back Alexander Mattinson, and wide receiver Dan Chisnia. New England Patriots, Dalton King, tight end, and running back J.J. Taylor. New Orleans Saints, running backs Ty Montgomery, Mark Ingram, and defensive end Cameron Jordan. For the New York Giants, wide receiver Kadarius Toney and offensive lineman Wes Martin. New York Jets, wide receivers Justin Hardy and Jeff Smith, and quarterback Mike White. Philadelphia Eagles wide receiver Quez Watkins. For Pittsburgh Steelers and San Francisco 49ers, no one. For Seattle Seahawks and Tampa Bay Bucks, no one. For Tennessee Titans, wide receiver Dez Fitzpatrick. For Washington, defensive back Kendall Fuller. Defensive tackles Tim Seattle, Jonathan Allen. Defensive end Casey Toonhill, linebacker David Mayo, defensive end James Smith Williams, linebacker Kalaliki Hudson, defensive end Montez Sowet. There you go. That's a lot. That is a lot of meat on the hoof. And we are coming up with the fifth year of the early signing period kicking off tomorrow. Perhaps the most uncertain version of the signing period since the first one in December 2017 is upon us. A year ago, with the NCAA effectively shutting down recruiting in March 2020 amid COVID-19 pandemic, more players signed early than ever before. No official visits were taken by the class of 2021, and there was no spring evaluation period. Summer camps are in-home visits. Fast forward a year, and the class of 2022 didn't get a spring evaluation period either. However, there were camps, the return of official visits in the fall, and in-home visit. A crazy coaching carousel and loaded transfer portal has thrown the early signing period for a loop, with a number of players pausing their announcements until January, with plans to make formal their decisions on the traditional National Signing Day in February. Nevertheless, there are a host of elite prospects that will announce Wednesday and later this week over the 72-hour early signing period. Plus, the race for number one will start to crystallize. And that is going to be fun. And speaking of college football, as I straighten up the mic a bit, Nevada quarterback Carson Strong, one of the most prolific passers in college football, announced on Tuesday that he will forego his senior season, and we'll get a new camera. There we go. Just a little bit. Okay, thank you. Announced on Tuesday, he'll forego his senior season and sit out the Quick Lane Bowl versus Western Michigan to prepare for the 2022 NFL Draft. Strong, a junior, threw for 4,175 yards and 36 touchdowns this season. Strong threw for 2,335 yards in 10 games in 2019, his redshirt freshman season. He broke out during his redshirt sophomore season in 2020, throwing for 2,858 yards, 27 touchdowns, and only 4 interceptions in 9 games. This despite being a 3-star prospect and number 2,171 overall player in the class of 2018. Wow. The 6'4", 215-pounder from Vacaville, California, is regarded as one of the top draft-eligible quarterbacks in the upcoming class. Our friends at CBS Sports rank him as the number 36 overall player and number 4 quarterback behind Matt Corral, Kenny Pickett, and Malik Willis. Ooh. That's right. Ooh. Okay, let me just see. Did we have everything here? Yeah, we did. Uh, Let me give you going back to the NHL and the NBA have been so severely hit by COVID outbreaks that the games have been postponed. And the latest we just told you, the NHL has also seen elevated cases of COVID 19, and some of the league's star players have been impacted. Calgary Flames have been forced to postpone at least their next three games after the league announced that six players and a staff member entered the NHL's COVID 19 protocol. Elias Lindholm, Andrew Magnapan, Brad Richardson, Adam Rukzika, and Chris Tanev, and Nikita Zadorov all were forced to enter the protocol. The postponed games include Monday, December 13th, the Blackhawks, tonight's game against the Predators, and Thursday's game against the Maple Leafs. Monday, the NBA announced that two Chicago Bulls upcoming games, tonight's game against the Pistons and Thursday's game against the Raptors, they're going to be down and out, and that is about it. And wow, what can I tell you? But wow. Let's see, what else have we got here, ladies and gentlemen? Oh yeah, let's give you the draft order as we speak. As you hear my cat Uno meow. It is obvious now that unless the Lions win their next game, they will get the first round draft pick. Lions will pick first. Question mark on that. Jaguars 2-11 will repose to pick second. Texans also at 2-11 will pick third. Jets at 3-10 to pick fourth. Giants via trade with the 4-9 Bears will pick fifth. Either Giants will pick then sixth. The Jets via trade with the Seahawks at 5-8 will take the seventh position. Meanwhile, the Panthers at 5-8 go with eighth. The eighth pick in the first round. Falcons 6-7 get the ninth pick. Eagles via trade with the 6-7 Dolphins will get the 10th pick. The Eagles will also get the 11th pick, while the Vikings get the 12th pick. Saints get the 13th. Raiders the 14th. Steelers the 15th. Broncos the 16th. Bengals the 17th. The Browns the 18th. Washington 19th. 20th the Bills. 21st the Eagles via trade with the 7-6 Colts. Dolphins 22nd via trade with the 7-6 49ers. 23rd will be the Chargers. Lions get the 24th pick as well via trade with the 9-4 Rams. Number 25th, the 25th pick goes to the Ravens, 26th pick to the Cowboys, 27th to the Chiefs, 28th to the Cardinals, 29th to the Titans, 30th to the Buccaneers, 31st to the Patriots, 32nd to the Packers, and the teams that don't have a first round pick, Seattle, Chicago, Bears, San Francisco 49ers, Indianapolis Colts, and the LA Rams. So they will probably have some picks in the second round, but right now, the first round, those guys get to sit out and enjoy the warmth. Okie dokie. Have we got any more? Oh, let's do a traverse to some little announcing here. And here we go. Michelle Tafoya, for the longest reigning NFL sideline reporter for NBC Sunday Night Football, it will reportedly be stepping away from the sideline reporting after this season. This NFL season will be Michelle Tafoya's last on the sidelines, according to a report from Andrew Marchand at the New York Post, or New York Post, if you prefer. Marchand broke the news this evening, saying the decision was Tafoya's to make. That opposed to being pushed out or sidelined following her controversial appearance on The View earlier this year, in which she compared COVID-19 to the flu in an apparent attempt to minimize the seriousness of the pandemic, while also suggesting Colin Kaepernick's anthem kneeling had nothing to do with his exit from the league. While what's next for Tafoya remains up in the air, she is obviously a multiple sports Emmy winner with plenty of experience covering more than just the NFL sidelines, so this doesn't necessarily mean she's finished as a broadcaster. The one thing that is certain is that NBC Sunday Night Football will need a new sideline reporter if indeed they're going to have one next season. Catherine Tappan is apparently the favorite, as you'd expect, considering both her talent and fill-in appearances for Tafoya during recent absences. Next year, NBC's broadcast has potential to look much, much different. In addition to Tafoya's exit after a decade or so, Al Michaels has been rumored to be moving to Amazon's Thursday Night Football booth, a point Marchand also reiterated in his report. If that does come to fruition, that means Mike Tirico will take over. They'll obviously open up a hosting slot for NBC's Football Night in America, too, where Maria Taylor would be a logical candidate to take over full hosting duties. Tafoya will still be on the sidelines this year all the way through the very end of the NFL season, as NBC has the Super Bowl in February and that Olympic thing, that Winter Olympic in Beijing. Alrighty, let's that's it for that. Let's start our international bid and get you some scores and fixtures from Tuesday's mild-mannered and fun night and day and afternoon of soccer. In the Premier League, it was Aston Villa over Norwich City 2-0. Manchester City spanked Leeds United 7-0. Scottish Premiership, Hibernian defeated Dundee 1-0. In the National Soccer League, it was Eastleigh and Solihull Moors, Goose Egg City, Halifax Town, a 2-0 win over Kings Lynn Town. National League North, Curzon Ashton and Kidderminster Harriers tied at 1. National League South, it was Dorking Wanderers over Oxford City 4-2. Scottish Cup, Darvel and Brechin City tied, but Darvel won 5-4 on penalties. Spanish Copa del Rey, Celta Vigo over Andorra 2-1. San Sebastian over Fuenlabrada, Goose Eggs, but Fuenlabrada did win 5-4 on penalties. Girona over Huesca 1-0. Rayo Majadahonda over Malaga 1-0. Real Zaragoza 2-0 over Burgos. Alcoyano over Levante 3-3, but Alcoyano won 3-1 on penalties. Espanyol over Cristo Atletico 2-1, and Liniers Deportivo over Alaves 2-1. In das Bundesliga, Bayern Munich over Stuttgart 5-0, Mainz over Hertha Berlin 4-0, Arminia Bielefeld over Bochum 2-0, Köln over Wolfsburg 3-2. And Italian Coppa Italia, Venezia 3, Ternia Uscano 1, Udinese over Crotone 4-0, Genoa over Salernitana 1-0. And in the Greek Super League, it was Asterios Tripolis 1, Panetoklikos 0. And there you go, boot. And we have but one more segment left. So here we go. Okay, let's go right here. And here we go. In European basketball, Anadolu Efes over Baskonia 87-72. Fenerbahce over Maccabi Tel Aviv 90-79. Barcelona over CZM 76-69. Olimpia Milano over Panathinaikos 75-54. Real Madrid over Alba Berlin 87-64. In the Euro Cup, it was Ulm over Gelborg 96-86. Turk Telekom over Trento 76-70. Juventud Badalona over Levios 86-63. Morabank Andorra over Litkabez 81-76. Stand up straight. And right now, let's give you an update on the NBA. 12 minutes into the fourth quarter, it's Portland up 1 over Phoenix, 101-100. And we have 2 updates on the NHL. Third period, 11 minutes in. Vancouver and Columbus tied at 3. And in 5 minutes, it's in the third, San Jose and Seattle, no score. Wow. In cricket, Pakistan won by 9 runs over West Indies, 172-8, with 20 wickets. For Pakistan, 163 over 10 with 20 wickets for West Indies. I don't understand cricket that much. I just read. But I love the play-by-play. I listen to it on Sports Entertainment Network up there in the lovely land of Australia, and even some games in New Zealand. Gee whiz. Golly, whiz bang. We are, thankfully, unless, let's check, let's just check here. Let's check some wrestling reports. Might as well. Gabe Steele, let's just get on here. Christopher Daniels has a W status, and he's anxious to get back in the ring and work with the roster. Head of talent relations for AEW appeared with other AEW stars at the C2E2 convention in Chicago and was asked about his in-ring future with the company as he's been away from storylines since May. Quote, "The last match I had for AEW television was the night that we wrestled against the Bucks, and unfortunately we lost and SCU had to split up. Since that time, I have sort of been weighing my future in the ring, and I decided that I still wanted to give wrestling in the ring. Honestly, I would be lying if I said that I was happy going to AEW and not seeing my name on the board. I want to get back in the ring and do something with this roster." Daniels, end quote. Daniels said how the AEW roster is very stacked right now and admitted that maybe it's not the best time for him to wrestle. However, he did say he's ready to go if officials want him in the ring. Now, Daniel may not have wrestled an official AEW match since he and Frankie Kazarian were forced to split after their loss to the then AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks, on the May 12th edition of Dynamite, but he made his Impact Wrestling return for a win over Madman Fulton in September, worked 2 Defy matches in September and October with wins over Titus Alexander and Daniel Garcia. He defeated Araya Dalvari at First Unleashed in mid-November and faced Jay White at the NJPW Strong Nemesis tapings last week. He also worked Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea Triple Whammy Cruise back in late October, teaming with Brian Cage for a loss to Angelico and Isaiah Cassidy. So stay tuned on that. I gotta tell you something. As you know, last weekend was the end of ROH as we know, their pay-per-view. Let me just get over here. Yeah. Their pay-per-view, their final pay-per-view for now. Let's see here. Can we go back? Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Vidania. Monchichi Glacius. But I'm trying to right now find, it's easy to find stuff on the internet. And let's see if I can actually find anything. we can. Why don't we do it this way? And of course, as you know, they had the final ROH pay-per-view, which was, of course, Final Battle. Let's give you the results. And as we like to call it, some semi-conscious speculation. Let's get going here. Dragon Lee versus Ray Otis. Dragon Lee won that match. Dalton Castle versus Rhett Titus versus Silas Young versus Joe Henry in a four-corner survival match. Rhett Titus became the new ROH World Television Championship. Josh Woods versus Brian Johnson, Pure Rules, ROH Pure Championship. Woods, of course, champion, defender. And he is still the ROH Pure Champion. Josh Woods continues. The Fight Without Honor, Kenny King took on Shane Taylor, and winner was Shane Taylor. Roxy versus Willow Nightingale for the Women's World title, and Roxy is still the Women's World Champion. And we had Eli Isom, Taylor Russ, Tracy Williams, and EC3 versus Brody King, Homicide, Rocky Romero, Tony Deppen in an 8-man tag team match. And the winners were Brody King, Homicide, Rocky Romero, and Tony Deppen. We had another big old matchup, the OGK, Matt Tavern and Mike Bennett, the champions, with Maria Callis Bennett versus the Briscoe brothers, Mark and Jay Briscoe, for the ROH World Tag Team Championships. And the winner were the Briscoes, as they are the new World Tag Champions for Ring of Honor. Jay Lethal took on Jonathan Gresham for the original ROH World Championship. John Gresham became the new ROH World Champion. And a graphic was shown, said, when one era ends, another begins, April 2022. Well, we'll see about that. Let's get a look now, if we can, guys, before we sign off the air. Thank you. Before we sign off, let's check out the stock prices, or the stock price for Sinclair. Thank you. Let's check the stock price for Sinclair Broadcasting. It is not very good. The stock opened at 25.8 and closed at $25.87, down 0.05. Wow. And I mean while because, as we all know, Sinclair Broadcast Group is the owner of many television stations and television, what do they call them? And television station owner divisions, I would say. Yes, like Cunningham Broadcasting, Williams Cirque Broadcasting. Divisions, thank you. I'm getting a little sleepy. I took my medication, so I'm getting a little sleepy now. But it's really not looking good. Of course, after Tuesday, we'll find out how things are going as we continue to keep up to date on the rising, quite possibly destruction of Sinclair Broadcasting. As you know, their Diamond Sports Group is not faring very well either. They own, along with Byron Allen, the regional sports networks used to be called Fox Sports. Now they're called Bally's because they sold the naming rights to the Bally folks. What else we got? Oh, yeah, we got the countdown as well since we have hit the 15th. We are now 16 days away from the end of NBC Sports Network and ESPN Classic. Both will be signing off on December 31st. And those of you with DVRs may want to tape those things. So stand by for that. And that, my friends, is going to end it for us. Want to thank you and really thank you very much for putting up with us. We will see you tomorrow, midnight Eastern, and hopefully everything will work out right for us tomorrow. Tonight, wow, playing hurt, but we got it all done. We want to thank you all very much for watching. We will be back in full humor tomorrow night at midnight for more of Sports Final. Until then, we say to thee and we say to ye, have a great evening in the West Coast and here on the East Coast and Midwest area. Have a great morning. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. This has been a presentation of Mystifying Creativity Productions in association with the L2C Media Network and L2C Sports. Thank you, and good night, everybody.